by paying attention, you are allowed to understand the process. And then if something's not being communicated, I taught you well enough to know what's missing. And, you may not know exactly what it is, but you know how to say, could you say it a different way? Because something's not clicking.
Right.
Like she taught me how to tell when something's missing. Like you may not know what it is. So I was sitting this one particular Tuesday. It was probably 2020, end of 21, early 22, and we were in the room, in the TV room, watching the television. He goes into the kitchen. He's cooking or making a drink or something, and something comes up on the agenda, and that there is heavy discussion. And then I just jumped up off the couch, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Oh, you see now, and I'm looking back at the kitchen. Like you see what's happening, right? Because clearly you can see some people knew what was going on,
Yes.
and clearly you can see some people were truly confused. And all I said to get to the answer. Here's the question. This question is going to get you there, and it's going to eliminate all that. It eliminates all of that. And that was the first time Jeff, he kind of turned away from whatever he was doing, and he says, "You should just run." And I'm like that was a hard. No, I always knew what was happening, and I always understood where they were going, but I could see that some people didn't, and there's a component of some people not understanding and feeling overwhelmed and not fully caught up. We suffer when that happens because there's delays. The people who don't understand don't feel confident in their vote, and they tend to just go with the flow, go with the group. Poor decisions are made. And it's never clearly quite explained to where a resident can understand it. And that was one of the biggest things I had. They didn't really go over what they're voting on. They just kind of went, very, very high level. It is a vote, to extend the intergovernmental agreement between the Parks and Recs Division and, the school system. So what was happening was they go to the next item, not introduce it, and you wouldn't even know what the vote was. Oftentimes you'll hear this. So the next we have move for approval. All in favor? What did we just vote on? And so if you're sitting at home or in the audience, you have no idea. That quick, fast move to motion and approve still happens. And I don't like that part because the residents are afforded to, the conversation to understand what is being voted on because it could apply and affect their life.